After I had signed up for some of the subconscious mind healing sessions, we decided why not put a program together. I work with athletes, and Dennis was starting to look into working with athletes, and we just combined this program. So we're going to go into a little bit more detail about what the program entails. He's going to tell you a little bit more about what he does. But for now, I'll introduce myself. Hello, my name is Drew Mulvey. I'm a certified dietitian nutritionist. I'm a board certified nutrition specialist. I'm a certified LEAP therapist, which is a specific food sensitivity protocol based off of mediator release testing. It's about 92% accurate and specific for your hypersensitivity reactions, much more specific than an IgG sensitivity test that most people get. And I'm also a precision nutrition level 1 coach, which is more holistic sports nutrition. And I am a certified personal trainer. And I am in the process of getting a certificate from the Center of Integrative Sports Nutrition for integrative and functional sports nutrition. So that's going to be an awesome addition. And today I have my associate, Dennis, and I'm going to have him introduce himself.
Good evening, everyone. Not to bore you with my credentials, but I'll run through them quickly. I'm a board certified hypnotist, hypnotherapist, and a subconscious mind trainer. Nationally, internationally, I'm also a certified communication and relationship coach. I do a lot of different things, but predominantly I focus on the subconscious mind. Unlike NLP, meditation, regular hypnosis, or hypnotherapy, what we're doing in the subconscious mind is actually taking that most incredible computer, and we are treating it just like a regular computer. We're defragging it, we're reprogramming it, but the results that are achieved, as you know, Drew, has already made a major impact in your performance levels. So that's why I'm so excited to take this to a whole new level, because the brain controls everything about you, mentally and physically. And when you understand that there's a duality in that relationship, that's why you and I working together are able to achieve such incredible results, because we're controlling everything in the mind and in the body, mentally and physically. Mm-hmm. And that synergism just is the secret to why our program is so incredibly successful.
Definitely. Yeah. So we have put together this program. It is called the Lady Warrior Athlete Program, and it is a program that's specifically designed to create the ultimate human. So that's mentally, that's physically, that's emotionally, and it's spiritually. And this takes the athlete to the pinnacle of their performance, which is awesome. And I've already, as Dennis said, has experienced this. But one of the things also that I really wanted to cover on is subconscious mind training. So if you joined me last week, I had somebody who was more of a sports psychologist, or she was a neuropsychologist. She worked with athletes, and she was talking about the conscious and then making certain decisions and changing up your frame of mind and how that really impacts your exercise. Now there's the conscious level and there's the subconscious level. The subconscious level, your body can pick up on when you don't even know what's going on. So really, why is that so important to clean up that level instead of just the conscious and go down deep?
Well, if you understand what limiting beliefs are and self-sabotage, these are a result of life experiences. And a lot of people ask me, where did I go to college? And I told them the University of Life, because actually it was in that university of experiences that we understand both the negative and the positive aspects that control us mentally and physically. Mm-hmm. So let me use an analogy of a regular PC computer or a laptop. How often do you defrag your system? Take out the corrupted data, because you know that that hard drive starts to slow down. And then you have so much junk in there that you don't have the space that you need for more good data, more good programming.
Mhm.
So the whole concept first is to take out the trash. We're going to defrag the system, defrag the brain, take out those traumas, those abuses, those negative thoughts. Interestingly, we have on a daily basis 50 to 70,000 thoughts that are processed in our brain.
Mhm.
95% of them are negative thoughts. So what happens is that limits us from being able to perform mentally and physically the way that we would like to achieve success in life.
Mhm.
Now, why does this apply in life as opposed to just athletics? Because everything about us needs to be healed, needs to be reprogrammed so that we have this new space that allows us to take the positive ideas, the positive habits, the positive behaviors, and even the positive beliefs so that you can achieve these optimum levels.
Mm.
And I think it was in your first competition recently this year that you kept telling me, Dennis, I keep hearing you in my mind. And that was the positive programming that you had that allowed you to achieve new records that you didn't think were attainable at the time.
Yeah, definitely. I was just telling Dennis that during my Olympic triathlon, that was probably the most successful triathlon that I have had yet. And it's really important to clear that debris, because if you're trying to train the conscious mind and then you haven't cleaned up that debris, it's like almost like there's a grinding and you're not able to get to that full realization. So after having a session with him, one of the things that are important is to have a pre-race strategy, like visualization, an intra-race strategy, and then a post-race strategy as well. And then pre-race, what really helped me is that visualization, kind of going over, okay, if there was anything that could have gone wrong, then I was prepared for it. Or I could see myself getting under 3 hours. That was my goal, getting under 3 hours. One of the triathlons, I did get very intimidated. This one, if any negative thought were just to even come into my mind, it immediately got out because I got a deeper into my subconscious when I had that other session before the Olympic triathlon. So now intra workout, what I was doing is that I was constantly checking in with myself. And I was hearing Dennis's voice. I was hearing him say that you're going to feel these feelings in your body. It's just part of the process. And you just kind of flow with it. And so any sort of thing that I was feeling, obviously I was checking in to see, okay, can I maintain this over a period of time? Can I do this? Can I do that? And no, as I said, negative thoughts, they weren't there. They weren't there because something had been cleaned up. And that's the most important thing, is that your thoughts are actually going to go down into your cells, and it will very much affect your race and your training. So that's what I really felt the most benefit, on top of nutritionally as well. I was making sure that I was drinking I learned my lesson with the Olympic triathlon on the electrolytes. So, but then I got better when I did my 100-mile bike ride. And those things were still going through my mind, is that you're going to feel these sensations, but that doesn't mean that the brain automatically has to shut down your muscles. It's just normal for that sport. And I was making sure that I was fueling properly. I was listening to my body when it needed that fuel. And then post-race, I finished in under 3 hours. Actually, it was 2 hours and 53 minutes. I was so ecstatic with my time. I felt so good. I actually had a really good time. I had the best swim of my life. And you want to celebrate yourself. Obviously, have that constructive criticism too. Like, okay, what could have gone wrong that you won't have that mistake the next time? Like for me, it was the electrolytes. That's why I got cramping in my leg. But I was so proud of myself. And you really do need to celebrate yourself, because that's just reinforcing that positive and the fact that you can. So one of the things that I used to do is I was extremely hard on myself. And the fact now that I can celebrate and that you can celebrate, that's where that subconscious mind is coming in, that you have, it's leaching into the conscious and it's allowing you to actually feel those emotions properly.
I had three takeaways from that first event. The first one was, Drew, I think you really enjoyed the competition.
I did.
And that was, I mean, that's such a game changer in itself. It's not a burden. It's something that really motivated you, and you could see it, especially when you got your ice cream cone at the end. That was your reward. The second thing is, you know, if you understand how the brain works, you have three basic levels. Now, there's more to it than that, but you have the conscious, the subconscious, which has three levels. And then you have the unconscious. The unconscious are the autonomous body functions that are controlled by the subconscious mind. So when you're controlling your nutrients that are in your body, but also the pain management. If you recall, you slipped on the gravel, but normally that would have impacted your psyche, but it didn't, because no longer did it hurt. You were able to continue. Even though you had a slight discomfort in your ankle, it wasn't the type of pain that you would normally have experienced. So there's a lot of other benefits that really allow you during the course of competition to get to that higher level of achievement. And, but to me, the biggest takeaway was you really enjoyed your competition. You had just a great time.
Yeah, I did. I was so grateful for the first one and so grateful for the others. I really had a good time. So, and that was so important. So with that in mind, we're going to talk a little bit about the program, because what helps on the subconscious level, there's also the physiological level as well that I'm going to talk about. So it's not just nutrition, but actually seeing what's going on at a cellular level, but very much your subconscious mind can significantly impact what's going on that cellular level. So I'm going to give the mic to Dennis, and he's going to talk to you about the subconscious mind training part of our program.
How long do you want me to talk? I love talking about this subject. Yeah. It is so cool. And I have to admit that I read and learn continuously, because as research and science investigates the brain, it's revealing incredible things that allow us to modify and change all of those things that control us physiologically as well as mentally.
Right.
So if you in the 12 weeks of the program, one of the things that I've learned is that we can accelerate the process of learning. Now, while I'll have a session each week that is live, I've developed the process so that I have audio recordings on specific areas of topics, but I embed in there the theta brain waves. Now, if you understand that a baby when it's born has a massive amount of theta brain waves, and that's what allows them to learn how to learn so many things so quickly. But by the time we reach 7, we start to see a fading in those theta waves. And as we're adults, then we're going, how come I'm so hard-headed? I'm having a hard time trying to remember some things. Well, by embedding the theta waves into the audio sessions, you're actually getting another 7 sessions every night you go to sleep. And in your REM mode, it's being reinforced. So you are learning at such an accelerated speed. That's why you're able to achieve such results in a short period of time. Now, there is an outline of those 12 weeks. However, you can't apply all the same rules to every individual, because we're, as they call us, snowflakes. Each snowflake is so unique that you have to allow for a concierge approach. Maybe it's your relationships that you think about that impact your competition. Might be a partnership, might be family. we have to learn how to develop relationships as one example so that our life is rich and full. So I'd spend an entire section just on communicating and messaging, understanding other people and how it impacts our lives. And of course, when we enrich our lives with the basic foundation, which are relationships in life, we find that our lives are so much more rewarded as we're helping other people. And of course, you know, that's one of the things that motivates me. I love helping people. And as a result, it comes back and manifests itself in so many different ways. Other things are collaboration. How can you collaborate and get someone else that can help you in those areas that you're not the best at? And I call it the who, not how. And in that category, we learn how to collaborate, just like you and I collaborate now on the Lady Warrior program. We would have never dreamed it possible. So there's a number of these things that you are able to achieve in the 12 weeks that will mentally change your habits, your behaviors, and your belief systems. Now, one thing I will share, and not a lot of people know this, but I had Crohn's disease for 5 decades, 17 surgeries, 2 bowel resections. I was on that slippery slope, and I didn't know when where the end of that slope was. And it was due to developing my subconscious mind towards healing that I'm now free of that disease after 5 decades. That's what really prompted me to focus on subconscious mind training. And as a result, I've changed so many different lives. And in changing those lives, each person is finding all of the new, how do I put this? They're finding a new life. And of course, I always say, change your mind, change your life. But they're finding a richer life and achieving higher levels that they never dreamed of, whether it's financially, whether it's in relationships. And of course, in athletics, if you clean out everything and you have a positive lifestyle, motivated to levels that you never dreamed of. And that's the point I want to make. Your dreams are down here in your subconscious mind. Once you bring them to the conscious level, guess what happens? Those dreams become real.
Yeah. Yep, that's great. What you just said is that your dreams become real, and that's exactly what this program is that you're literally rewiring your brain so that it's thinking in accordance with what your goals are, what your dreams are, and it really enhances the effect of the visualization. I mean, I was actually just telling Dennis today, oh my gosh, I was on the Stairmaster and something came over me like, I think I actually want to do an Ironman one day.
That's your dream?
Yeah, and I'm going to be doing a half Ironman in June 17th. I never thought it was going to escalate to that. I thought I was just going to stop at the Olympic triathlon, and I literally had so much fun. I'm like, I want to do this. So it's just, realizing what your potential are, what your potential is, and then knowing that your goals are reachable and attainable, to have that subconscious foundation, and then to clear up the conscious so that it's thinking properly. And then all of a sudden, like, all the pieces start coming together. And then one of my favorite things that I've been seeing recently is you have not because you ask not. So it really gives you that confidence and that motivation to go forward and really start reaching towards where you want to go. Now,
well, one thing I'd like to also include that I feel is so important, and that is the physiological aspect, the duality of the brain. Now, we think of the brain in terms of mental capacities, but if you're not healing the brain, if your synaptic responses aren't firing properly, okay, and it's telling your body, here's what you have to do, but if it can't communicate with the body properly, your body won't function to those levels.
Right.
So the physiology, making sure that you're getting the brain health, the physical aspect of brain health, it supports the mental health aspects. And that's what you do, is you help that brain be healthy.
Right. Yeah. So we had originally said that this is a nutrition part of the program, but really it's a physiological part of the program. So physiology is how your body's processing everything. And we're each a snowflake, as Dennis said, and everybody is different at the cellular level. So really physiology is the cellular level. So by doing that, we're approaching this on that cellular level where we're looking at supplements and nutrients that you might be deficient in. How are you detoxifying? Because if you're not detoxifying properly, you're going to be, those toxins are just going to be recirculating in your body, causing inflammation, decreased recovery time, lethargy, brain fog, joint pain, all of those manifestations of inflammation and lack of detox. A lot of it is skin issues and chemical sensitivities as well. And then food sensitivities is everybody's actually a snowflake with those food sensitivities. And that's why I have the testing that I do, because it looks for several different mediators of those hypersensitivity reactions, not just that one single one, because IgG can actually be elevated as an anti-inflammatory too. So it's kind of a little bit confusing. So by taking those things out of the diet and individualizing it, getting things actually that in and of itself acts as a detox, and then going deeper with alternative testing. These are the things that I've applied, and I have been significantly impacted in my athletic career. And I never thought that I'd get to this point ever. And from seeing that, the supplements that I was depleted in, the nutrients that I needed, how stress was affecting my body, if there was any sort of, I did have gut dysbiosis, I would have never had known that. It looks at candida, all these things that could be affecting you at a cellular level could significantly impact how you're performing, let alone a lot of those nutrients also feed your brain too. So if you don't have enough B vitamins, you're not methylating properly. And methylation is very important for decreasing homocysteine levels. And homocysteine is commonly elevated in cardiovascular disease and in brain disease too. So, and then you want the gut functioning properly, because if you don't have the right balance of microbes in your gut, then you're not going to be digesting or assimilating your nutrients properly, and you're not going to get them up to your brain. You're not going to get them up to your joints. Actually, when you get bloated and you get gassy, what it does is actually it expands your intestines, and it's harder to actually absorb those nutrients. So it's important that you're staying away from things that your body is just saying, stop, because it's actually overloading your liver and it's overloading your detox systems as well. Right. So with that in mind, it's not just about the nutrition, but it's also about adding those components in and really addressing it at a cellular level. Plus, there's meal planning. One of the most common things in a lot of athletes, especially endurance athletes, is disordered eating. And it's usually because they just don't know how to fuel themselves properly, or there could be diagnosis of actual eating disorders, which is greater in the athletic population in comparison to the regular population. So with that in mind, that also hinders your athletic performance, because you're not getting enough food and fuel, and let alone the right fuel to maintain and sustain
and
your
not
activity.
Only that, but it's the old saying, bad fuel, you have bad gas.
Yeah, that was perfect.
One thing I would like to interject, and I've shared with you some of these situations I've had with clients, is there's also the other mental detox, where once you get the body to tell itself to release all of those toxins, I equate it to Mount Vesuvius. It just lets go. And it's good because the body is naturally telling itself to release those things. So I know that you're using a number of different types of detox, and there's not one that does everything. So you have to use a combination of all those things. And that's what you're so good about, is you know how to be able to put the right pieces of the puzzle together for a detox program that works.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And then also incorporating that in to just kind of lay out like, okay, how much do I actually need to be able to fuel my body? And what are some functional foods that I can use to really enhance recovery and decrease inflammation? And even just as your thoughts are important during pre-workout, intra-workout, and post-workout, your nutrition around is going to be a significant factor in how well you perform. I got a cramp because I didn't use electrolytes properly. So those things are going to definitely go hand in hand. But I do have to say is that your voice went through my head when I got that cramp and it stopped. The cramp didn't get any worse. It maintained, but I was able to maintain my pace, which was really awesome. So yeah, I mean, I think that's basically the gist of our program. So as we said, it's a 3-month, 12-week program. There's different pillars that we cover each session. So you get a session each week with both of us. So that's 2 sessions per week. We're holding your hand the whole time. I mean, this is for the elite athlete and the athlete that really wants to reach their athletic potential, because it is completely possible. So I know we have some questions that we'd like you to ask yourself. Dennis, you want to take it?
Well, it really gets down to, am I achieving, or how do you know you're achieving the highest level of performance in your competition? You have to ask yourself, am I really hitting my highest levels? Then you have to say, well, and this falls right in our court, am I using both a mind and body approach to achieve those levels? Because if you're not going to. That's the reality. And then the third thing is, do I desire the type of results that this program can deliver? Gets down to belief. First of all, you have to believe in yourself, but then you have to believe that this program is really going to take you to the top level. And I think your testimony alone is so powerful that it demonstrates how it works. And then the last one is, what's keeping me from reaching my dreams? I ask myself that every day. And I look in the mirror, I ask that question, and I go, it's you, Dennis. You're the only thing that's keeping you from obtaining such success, happiness, and performance levels that I want to achieve. So if you ask yourself honestly those questions, you'll see the importance of what this program is for you.
Definitely.
And honestly, the combination of what we have,
I have seen amazing results in my athletic performance, and I know that it's going to deliver it to you. So maybe you have something in your mind that you want to run a marathon one day, you want to run a 10K, you want to do an Ironman, you want to do something that you think is completely out of your grasp. But it takes a little bit of cleaning and then rewiring those beliefs and really taking out the debris physically and mentally. Then this is the program for you to get you to that next level. It's not only going to be in your athletic performance, you're going to see it in your business, you're going to see it in your relationships, you're going to see it, the confidence that you have in yourself. I have definitely gotten so much more confident. I've been more driven than I have in a while, because you get so much passion from it because you've cleared out those things. So if this is something that really, really resonates with you, sign up for one of the discovery calls that we have. For those of you that are on Facebook, I am going to put that link in the comments below so that you can click on it. For those of you that are on Instagram, I know that's a little bit more complicated with links. I can't put that in the comments. So please DM me if you have any sort of questions. I can set up that discovery call for you, and then we can get you right into the program so that you can start achieving your athletic dreams and goals. And you know what? It's triathlon season is going to be starting in May. So this is the perfect time to start rewiring everything and really getting to your best self, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This perfect time.
Let me throw in there too. A lady warrior athlete can be a golfer. She can play soccer or rugby. I mean, she could play some tough sports against men and be fiercely competitive. Originally, when we were talking about the Lady Warrior program, we've mentioned how many times about Amazon women and their performance levels. Historically,
and their performance levels.
Anyways, it doesn't matter what the athletic program is.
It doesn't matter what the athletic program is.
To the top.
We can take you to the top.
Exactly.
Change your mind.
Change your mind.
Change your life.
Change your life.
Right. With that in mind, we're just going to close out. So I'll just reintroduce myself. So I'm Drew Mulvey. I'm a certified dietitian nutritionist. I'm a board certified nutrition specialist. I'm a certified lead therapist, which is that specific food sensitivity protocol, which is part of the program to help your body detoxify and decrease any sort of inflammation that's been built up. I'm a precision nutrition level 1 coach, which is more holistic sports nutrition. I'm a certified personal trainer, so I understand how the body works in that respect as well. And then I am in the process of attaining a certificate to become an integrative and functional sports nutrition through the Center of Integrative Sports Nutrition in the UK, which is really cool. So, and Dennis, would you like to reintroduce yourself as well?
Certainly. My name is Dennis Paul. I am your subconscious mind trainer.
I like that. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Again, if you want to get a hold of us, for those of you that are on Facebook, the Discovery Call link will be in the comments. And for those of you that are on Instagram, please send me a DM and then I will get you right on our schedules. All right. Do you have any last closing words that you want to say, Dennis?
Yes, I do. I am so grateful to know you. You're an amazing woman. You have come a long way just in the period of time we've worked together. And you are a testimony to the Lady Warrior Athlete program.
Thank you so much, Dennis. You have been such an asset in my life, and I am very grateful for you as well. And we actually connected over Instagram, so you can make really great connections on Instagram. So if you are seeing this, this is your Instagram connection, and you definitely need to hop on that.
That's right. And for those tomorrow celebrating Thanksgiving, let's all be grateful for everything in our lives, especially living in this wonderful free country. So again, I'm thankful for you, and I'm thankful for all the people that are watching this.
Agreed.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. All right, with that in mind, go enjoy your turkeys, enjoy your stuffing. I'm going to be walking in a turkey trot tomorrow. You do the same thing, Dennis. And again, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for asking and having me here.
Of course.
Be well.
Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.